So Kevin Feige's been doing a press tour, and so he's doing all the interviews right now. So we're gonna check him out together. This one's from the Nerds of Color. Let's check it out together.
I've been going to see Marvel movies since my dad took me to see Iron Man in the theater.
Were you 8 in Iron Man in the theater?
I was 8.
Wow.
I'm 24 now, so that's over half my life.
I was older than you. when you made Iron Man.
It was before girls liked Marvel,
Oh, okay.
and let me tell you, I've been going to the movies ever since for the Marvel movies. So thank you.
I have been there for every single Marvel movie as well. I would have been. Let me think. When did 2012? Wait. Iron Man 1? Oh, 2008. Yeah, so I would have been 14 or 15 years old. Wow, this girl is younger than me and she's interviewing Feige. No, I'm very happy for her. That's awesome.
Thank you for
Especially as a woman of color.
the honor.
That's incredible.
Of course.
Sophia Soda with the Nerds of Color, and I mean, I got to see a little taste of Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yes.
and let me tell you, I'm hungry for more. But I want to just ask you a broader question about the MCU, because my favorite...
Alright, because remember the first 37 minutes were shown of Deadpool and Wolverine.
favorite theater experience was seeing Avengers Endgame in the packed theater. I mean, the reactions were just incredible, and I have a very strong
Like no other.
Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be that
Very
same
similar.
for me, which I'm so excited about to see opening nights. What is your personal favorite theater experience with an audience related to any Marvel project?
Well,
Endgame? Come
there's
on.
so many theater experiences that I had on other movies, right? That made me want to be a filmmaker, made me want to make not just movies, but the kinds of movies that elicit that kind of emotional response from a crowd. I don't want to go into a movie theater and come out more depressed than when I went in.
Did you see Avengers Infinity War? Because I left that movie theater a little depressed,
Who
Kevin.
knows achieved what he wanted? You should have felt happy for things. He worked hard to get that done.
Damn, she called him out for that.
So there are all sorts of cinematic moments
Yeah.
that are in my core DNA and rewrote my DNA that I feel like I chase when we make our own movies. Avengers Endgame was a very special moment to be in a full theater for.
That's
but
kind of
so
a
was Iron
predictable
Man 1.
answer.
Iron Man 1 when we didn't know how people would respond to that film and to the way Jon Favreau and Downey were putting that movie to the screen, and that was pretty exciting to see. And even there were some movies that we finished right up to the last minute. And I remember sitting in a theater with the first Ant-Man film, which was
So fun.
which was right down to the wire. And we finished it, and it came out.
I just want to say real quick that I have seen every single Marvel movie in theaters, with the exception of, I believe, Ant-Man Quantumania. But let me just... I want to go back and think about what every film that had a audience moment that I remember in the theater, personally. And I don't really... I think, okay, you know what? The first time I remember the crowd reacting in the MCU was the moment when Hulk in Avengers 1 grabs Loki and is tossing him back and forth. I remember the audience erupting during that. And I wasn't even big on Marvel at that point, but I remember how big of a moment that was for fans and moviegoers. And you know, it was just a fun, entertaining moment. And then I don't think I got a moment like that until maybe the obvious ones goes to Avengers and Ultron, Age of Ultron with the Hulkbuster. That was a really big crowd moment for me, especially when he starts punching Hulk into the ground. I remember the audience going crazy. And then it truly was all of the Avengers movies in particular. I mean, obviously Infinity War and Endgame. I think Civil War also had some big crowd moments, and the other ones I remember more recently were probably like Spider-Man No Way Home was huge. Even Far From Home with like the J. Jonah Jameson reveal at the end was pretty incredible. And all the big ones. But yeah, Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron were some of the earliest MCU crowd pleasing moments that I remember personally going to the theaters. Curious to hear what your guys is. Let me know down below what's your earliest crowd pleasing like moment where you heard the crowd come alive and you felt kind of one with them. What was the first time you felt that in watching a Marvel MCU movie? I will say X-Men The Last Stand. I saw that in theaters in 2006. That had some crowd pleasing moments, and I remember people cheering for the Juggernaut. That was big. Let me know what your guys' was. I want to hear everyone, the earliest memory you can remember. Not the best one, because I feel like everybody's best one, including Feige's and the girl across from him, it's going to be Endgame. Like, we all know the answer. That's the best one. It's the culmination. Like, there's nothing that compares to it. So, I already know what the answer is going to be if I asked you guys what's your favorite crowd-pleasing moment in the MCU. But let me know just what your earliest one that you can remember was. I would love to hear. All right, I'm sorry. I'm done with my rants. Let's finish this interview. He was talking about Ant-Man.
See people respond to Rudd, which you knew Rudd is so great. People respond to him, but the way that story came across.
I don't lose track. I know.
That was very exciting, and I'm so lucky. I get to have those moments in real life many times. Seeing Hugh in the yellow outfit for the first time next to Ryan. By the way, and obviously I was not involved in the first two Deadpool movies. So when I went to Deadpool and Wolverine, that was the first time I'd ever seen Ryan in the costume.
Cool.
In person.
That's.
And
I forgot. I didn't think about
some
that.
of this into the camera.
Because he's been a producer
Out onto the
on all of the X-Men films. He's worked with Hugh. He's even worked with Toby. I believe he worked with Andrew Garfield as well. Like, possibly even with the Fantastic Four movies. But I don't know how Deadpool 1 and 2 went under my radar that Kevin Feige had nothing to do with. But that's a really interesting perspective that I didn't think about. Again, he's had a longer and arguably bigger relationship with Hugh Jackman than Ryan Reynolds has. That goes way, way back. And what I think was Kevin Feige a producer? Well, no, okay. He did Daredevil, The Punisher, Ang Lee's Hulk, and he did Blade Trinity, and he did one of the Fantastic Four films, I believe. Anyways, very cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Deadpool. I don't know why I just kind of assumed, but it makes sense that he wasn't involved now that I think about it, because he was probably so busy with. I think he was working on Infinity War and Endgame at that time.
Into the camera, out onto the screen, to the audience. We're gonna be in business, and I'm very excited for people to see the whole movie. Because we're talking to a lot of people today, and the first 37 minutes are great. The rest of the movie's bad.
Yeah, I had
That's why I'm very
chills
excited.
seeing those two together and those costumes. Oh my God, don't get me started. And one thing I really, really love is how the film has found this balance between action and humor, but also emotion. I mean, Marvel characters are just so special to me. I grew up loving them, and to see that the care is there on screen for their arcs is just so important to me. What is that like?
That is all we want to do, and all we set out to do. So hearing you verbalize it like that is really meaningful. Most people ask me about the F word or the blood and the R rating, and that's
We
all
love
there.
that too,
It's all there. It's
but
all true.
The emotional beats, Kevin.
That's what Ryan, you, Sean, have brought to me is a level of emotion and sweetness and joy. It's the most wholesome R-rated movie ever. It's our first R-rated movie, but it's so wholesome, but it's so sweet. It's so emotional, and which is what I really think is going to be the takeaway when people see the full film.
Yeah, and I do have to ask you, because I am one of those fans that
last trailer was
those little Easter eggs, those little I feel like creating theories is such a fun part of it for me.
Yep.
Just getting
That's
to
true.
see what's coming, the cameos, everything like that. Of course, I'm not asking you for spoilers. I don't want to be spoiled. But I do want to know, what is it like for you to see the passion that comes from the fans when they're spending their time looking for these little things in the trailer, or appreciating a certain cameo or something after the movie comes out? I mean, I know those are probably great for you to see done, but then to see the reaction must be a different ballgame.
Well, it's great, and it you know, it's the difference now between seeing that where it's real passion and seeing that where people are just trying to monetize clicks in some way. And I've seen, I haven't watched, but I've been told essays of things that just aren't there. What are they? No, it's not. But when it is, you know, either something that goes back to another movie or something that goes back to the comics, how deep does people's Marvel knowledge go that they can recognize things?
Yeah. Well, Kevin, just a big honor to be here with you again.
Thank you.
So much
Great
for your
question.
time, and
So much.
thank you. Oh, that means a lot coming from me. Thank
Yeah, it
you.
was definitely one of the better interviewers I've seen with the latest Kevin Feige press tour run. But very cool. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Again, what's your biggest... Well, no. What's the first big crowd-pleasing moment you guys remember in the MCU? Or Marvel. Can be X-Men too. Fox movies. I don't care. Universal. You know what I mean? Marvel. Go. Alright guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay tuned for more. If I can finish.